Paddy Pimblett shunning the UFC, I suppose, was the thing last Monday, and go on then, and he re-ups with the UFC. So Paddy Pimblett went on the MMA on Monday.
Warriors, I mean.
Or Cage Warriors, sorry. He went on the MMA on Monday, and it was kind of weird. I was talking to PT about it, actually. If you're on Patreon, you can see that. I was talking to PT, and we were kind of wondering, what's going on with Paddy Pimblett. It was very odd saying that he's no interest in me, and obviously Paddy Pimblett knew at the time that he was going to sign with Cage Warriors. And that obviously came out last night. John King, over our new SevereMMA reporter, reported that over during the Cage Warriors the last night as well. We kind of discussed this before, that maybe saying with Cage Warriors wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for Paddy Pimblett, and kind of maybe he's taking a step back from this. Maybe if the UFC weren't coming to Liverpool later on in the year, we'd be saying this is a good idea for Paddy Pimblett. Needs 3 or 4 more, maybe not 3 or 4 more fights, but a couple more fights anyway with Cage Warriors before he goes to the UFC, to get maybe a little bit more schooling at European level before he goes on, not to world level, but to UFC level, and then ranked level, and then world level. There's stages as well to this, and Paddy Pimblett is still young, and I think maybe this is a wise decision for Paddy Pimblett. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we said it a couple of weeks ago. I think there's no rush for him to get into the UFC, and I think he's kind of hinted, or maybe even said on the MMA era, that he's getting paid more in Cage Warriors than he would on a typical entry level UFC contract. I think he'd get more than just a 10-10 or a 12-12, but he'd probably make it more in Cage Warriors with ticket sales and his wages, or his show money and win money as well. The Liverpool show coming, obviously, you would think that the first time they come to Liverpool, Paddy would want to be there on the card, and I'd say he probably does. Ideally, if it came at the right time, but I don't think he should change all. If he was planning on not signing for the UFC for another couple of fights, I don't think he should change his whole plan just because the UFC is coming to Liverpool. I think if he feels to himself that, like, I need to improve before I get to the UFC, I need to be more experienced, or I want to just test myself a bit more and improve on certain things before I go there, then I don't think he should just scrap all that because the UFC is coming down the road. So if that was the plan all along, then I think it's good to stick to the plan.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. It's there's no hurry. We've seen lots of guys do this. We always talk about McGregor and the way he got a huge schooling in Europe, and even guys like Tom Ducumar. And I know Ducumar hasn't started that well in the UFC, but he's still he's ground out a couple of fights where maybe guys with maybe a little bit less of experience wouldn't have won him, and I know he's lost one as well. But I think that experience kind of is invaluable, and we were talking to Artem Labov, on Patreon about it, and about kind of padding records and stuff, and he was kind of making the point as well, if you're good enough, you'll get there. And I think if Paddy Pimblett is good enough, and he definitely has the prospects of being good enough, if he can keep improving and keep on the right track, he can beat these guys, and he can get to the UFC, and he can beat guys in the UFC. And he, 2 fights ago, he lost, and the fight before that, he probably should have lost as well. A lot of people, including myself, thought he lost that fight. He barely got through with the decision. So no hurry for him. Get a little bit more schooling, and keep win a few fights, and didn't get to the UFC. And I'm sure this is kind of a golden age for Liverpool, and Liverpool, they'll be back to Liverpool again with a card. And Paddy kind of said as well that this is Darren Till's card, and he's headlining this one. And I don't know, is jealousy the right word, but he kind of wants to bring the card himself. He wants to headline the card when it comes. And maybe he said that because he knew he was re-signing with Cage Warriors, and he knew he wasn't going to be on it. Or maybe he actually thinks that, and the next time it comes, he wants to be the one headlining it. So, all in all, I suppose, fair play to Paddy Pimblett. No harm re-signing with Cage Warriors, and fair play to Cage Warriors as well. That's a big signing for them. And we thought coming into this weekend, maybe Karen Moore was going to be gone, and Paddy Pimblett was going to be gone. But now it looks like Paddy Pimblett's obviously staying, and Karen Moore unfortunately lost, and he's going to be staying as well. And he, his next fight as well is going to be big for him as well when he goes back to light heavyweight. So all in all, for Cage Warriors, not a bad weekend overall.
Having said all that, and having heard everything Paddy said, I still wouldn't be that surprised if he ended up on the UFC Liverpool card. If
Really?
they offered him the right money, if they offered him the right money in co-main event, I'd be sure. I wouldn't be sure, but I think that he'd consider it at least anyway. So,
But it's only like 7-8 weeks away now, and he's just signed yesterday.
it would have to happen soon, but it would have to happen quick. But like if they came in offering him 50 and 50 co-main event and his thing, do you think he turned that down? Like,
no, but I don't think they're going to offer him that. Actually, that was the point I wanted to bring. You like you said coming in, they wouldn't offer him 10 and 10 or 15 and 15 or whatever. Why? Like, I think they probably would. The UFC don't really seem to care about these.
I think people like Duffy came in with more like on a higher contract than that, and other people who have signed from as champions of like Cage Warriors and Bam and stuff have signed on slightly higher than the standard contract.
Yeah, I suppose, but this is kind of a different time as well. You know, the WME, IMG, or whatever they call now, Endeavor are in, and you know, I'm sure they don't want to be throwing away money like that to people, and I wouldn't be throwing away money. Obviously, Paddy Pimblett deserves it, and you know, I think he deserves a lot of money if he was going to fight the UFC. But from their point of view, maybe
if they were to offer him 50 on 50, I think, assuming he wins that and gets his win bonus, that's $100,000. I think he brings more than $100,000 worth of attention and stuff to the events that they would put on with him. So
yeah, maybe you're right. I do, and maybe that's why Cage Warriors can afford to give him a lot of money as well, because they know he'll bring a big crowd to Liverpool and put on a sellout show there.
Yeah, you get on radio and online TV and stuff like that and have features done on him that other fighters wouldn't. That would bring attention to the card as well. So
yeah,
he's big. He's big for Cage Warriors as well. So they'd be delighted to get him pinned down again.